Welcome to episode 150 of The Endless Stream. Another chaotic episode, but we made it to episode 150. Thank you everybody who's been listening along this far. Thank you for everybody who's joined us along the way. And welcome to anybody who may be joining us on this, the 150th episode. There's no lore, there's no backstory, there's no need to go back through the catalogue and learn anything. But if you want to, feel free. We talk about movies, we talk about TV series. We are three artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and all-around shit talkers. And each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, YouTube, the cinema. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. We also just talk a lot of nonsense a lot of the time. This week is one of the nonsense episodes. We do talk about Roadhouse comes up again. We talk about Shogun. We talk about the shows that we're watching, but we also just talk about what's going on in life. And also, we talk about the fact that recording audio is hard sometimes. Recording audio is hard, and technical issues happen. What you're going to find somewhere in the middle is Kevin's computer shut down and refused to record any audio, and we nearly lost the whole episode. We managed to recover it, but it took a day. So there's like a nice little 36-hour gap between sections of the podcast, which of course leads to fun and games. But sure, that's why we're here, isn't it? Fun and games, huh? If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast, heading over to Spotify, heading over to iTunes, rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing. All of those good things really help us out. On top of that, you can follow us on Instagram at The Endless Cast, where we put up art and clips to go with each episode. That's a great place to send us a message, disagree with us, suggest something for us to watch, agree with us wholeheartedly. We love a bit of support. You can get in touch with us there, or you can send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All of that being said, let's get into the episode. Almost had the three of us. Almost had the three of us with working sound.
Yes.
Hey, Kevin?
Yes.
Can you check your microphone?
I did check my microphone. I did all that stuff already.
Okay. It's working?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's close to your face so we don't have lots of echo?
Yes, I did that already.
Right. We've had a lot more of that since you switched to a table-mounted mic as opposed to the arm-mounted mic.
What? My sound quality is always perfect.
As if to emphasize that, you just rolled a chair around a lot.
Yes.
Things that I have to edit out.
I'm just keeping you busy, bro. I'm trying to give you just little jobs.
Cool. I'm good now. It is a lovely bright morning. The clock has changed. The sun is out. Oh, there's the wind. It's a pretty stormy morning.
It is very stormy. There is a storm, I believe, this weekend. Storm Kathleen. Shout out to Kathleen. Welcome to Ireland.
The letter changes with each storm, right? It goes up so this is the 10th big storm of the year?
Maybe.
A to K?
Yeah.
Isn't that the way that works?
Something like that.
Or do they pick a letter each year and just go with a bunch of names?
I don't know what to do. There is some system to it, but I don't know. If you know, keep it to yourself. Never share it with anybody.
I spent a little bit of time this morning trying to get an Etsy shop established. What is your take on print on demand and art stuff?
So
I'm trying to do a lot of art, but it also feels like me just busying myself.
Would you ever try OnlyFans? You're definitely marketable.
Am I?
Yeah. You have some sort of value in that capacity.
Cool.
I'm not sure what. Maybe you could just be like sitting on sliced pans or something. But you could do it. And I was talking to somebody recently who was telling me that the furry community are very against AI and don't like it. They like traditional commissions. But sometimes it's hard for them to get stuff commissioned because people don't like to do it. There's a gap in the market. But I know people do it.
The problem with both of these things is I think I could definitely do A, but I also feel like it would be just as income generating as my Etsy store, which is there's a lot of work up there that took a lot of time to do and nothing has moved. So, it would just be another thing that exists. And the same thing with the smutty art for furries. I would absolutely draw anything for money. We have seen this. But the thing is, I think in order to draw that market towards me, I would have to develop a portfolio of smutty furry art, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, do I have to do the art? Do I have to do some for my own enjoyment.
Yeah, I just would, to be honest, it'd be more the reference images that would be upsetting for me.
I look at people's, like, I'm looking at Artyom Tukovic. Do you know that artist?
No.
Tukovic. I'll drop him into the chat here.
What's his name?
Artyom. I'll put it into your,
Oh,
into your WhatsApp there.
Is it ARTGEM?
No. It's there on. It's there in WhatsApp for you, but it's just an artist with a very strong and specific visual style. And
oh yes, I have some of their stuff actually.
Yes,
and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't do that. And what I mean is, I don't day in, day out do the same thing.
Yeah, I know, yeah. You have no consistency.
The consistency is the quality of my work. But there's no specific style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. As in, like, not to toot my own horn, but I will. At Puka Tattoo, for anybody listening, check out my Instagram. I'm a tattoo artist based in Dublin. I specialize in black work, but you can see the consistency there, folks, if you want to see consistency.
Yes. Yeah. But you have very diligently maintained an aesthetic across your Instagram,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Now, I've gone through phases of breaking out my various channels into like, well, this is where I'll do art and this is where I'll do whatever to try and do that. But if I have to like try and go, okay, well, this is where I specifically do this art style only.
Yeah, you see, I think in the past I would have said like, oh yeah, like have a separate thing for that, have a separate thing for that. But I think nowadays I wouldn't recommend it. I'd keep all your art and comedy in the one place, because ultimately people are going to go there for your art and then they'll see, oh, this guy does comedy, or people are going to go there for your comedy and be like, oh, this guy does art, and like crossing streams, much easier to manage. You know, you're giving people your art, you're giving people your comedy, you're giving people your lifestyle. You know.
I think that's a degree of. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was looking at how to figure out how to merge Instagram accounts, because I think the consensus on that has changed.
Yeah, it has. It has.
And I think it's just it's tough to manage too many fucking channels at this point.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I would look into that, you know, and then in regards to kind of, as you say, kind of trying to keep things consistent, or you know, whatever, you don't necessarily have a theme, or you know, not theme to your work, but aesthetic, right? But I know you're saying as in your stuff is your high quality, and I actually agree with that. But I think you kind of do have an aesthetic, to be fair. The dog in the kimono, the fish, you know, the hippo. I suppose like they're all very high quality pieces. But like, I don't know if I'd you know, if that style thing happens naturally, go for it. But like, I don't think I'd limit myself just yet. You could find by exploring it, you could find your niche.
Though, like, I'm now scrolling down through my Instagram and going, this all fucking feels.
I unfollowed you ages ago because I just felt it was tack. Which one is it?
Oh, Jesus.
Is it Sully Draws?
Sully's Drawn, yeah.
Yeah, let me try it. Yes, but like, I think you have a mixture between, like, you know, your sketchy, your ink stuff and stuff, but then you have some stuff that's like super finished and well polished. You know what I mean? Like, like you have a combination between cartoony and then some of it's just like super finished, super well polished.
Well, like, yeah, there's the cartoony style stuff, and then like, say that like I keep looking at that painted skull with the roses. It's like the seventh image. I like that one.
Yes. Yes, which one do I like? Well, your Peacemaker piece was great. I suppose, to be honest, I think a lot of your better art is on the end of stream.
I think I have more, like I've done, I'm just not posting enough on here either. I post them up on the Endless Stream with the idea to post them on mine after the fact.
Yeah.
Use it on the Endless Stream first.
Yeah, fair. No, but your stuff is great, bro. You should be doing comics. Just do comics already.
Cool.
Hey, Aiden.
Somebody give me comics to draw.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I've those Hollander pages.
Yeah, great.
They look all right,
Yeah,
right?
brilliant. Make me sick.
I can.
Here, fucking go into fucking. Will you just go into Robinson City? Just ask for fucking if he has anything scripts going or something. Give us some samples. Just do it. Even looking at your Sully draws, like even like that would be in his books in a heartbeat, bro. You can do it. I know you can do it, but you know.
Yeah, it's just time.
He at the moment he's focusing on all this Irish Celtic stuff. So I think throw it
at the moment.
No, but like, I mean, like that's his interest, or that's what he's working on. Throw some bits and pieces that look like that together because you probably had them already, and then go in there and he'd give you like, oh, that's classy. I do this, and then could lead to something else, you know, with other something else. But yeah,
that's now that you're like a lot of your better art is on the Endless Stream. I looked at the last post that I put up on mine that like is a piece of Endless Stream art, and that is from episode 67.
Yeah, well there you go, bro.
And we're at episode 150, and there's an episode, or there's a piece of art for every episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been some leveling up.
Yeah.
Over the 100%. Last 2 years.
That yellow jacket hang pin piece is great.
Well, that one's way back though.
Yeah, but I love that.
Okay, all right, okay. I just...
In regards to your question about Etsy and printed demand and all that kind of stuff, nothing to lose, passive income, try it. You know? Why not? I would absolutely consider doing it.
You haven't though.
I'm going to.
Okay. Because I remember you talking about it just as everybody got sent home in the pandemic. It's like, I have to get the shop up.
Yes, yeah. No, I ended up doing loads of commissions though, and that was cool.
Oh, did you?
Yes. That just like, you know, it just helped during the COVID period, you know?
Yeah.
And there were digital commissions.
Yeah.
People just asked me for tattoos designs that they wanted from around the world and stuff, and I just did them. People were in a place of, let's help people who are out of work.
Yeah, I know. I know that. Yeah. Well, there's a degree of like, I'm just
probably don't need
cut the money bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I want to phrase this in a way that's like, it's not that it's easier for you, and that it is it's acknowledging the amount of work that has gone in to get you to this position. But when you put out a call for portraits or commissions or whatever the hell, your Instagram account is aiming at 13,000 people.
Yeah, just under, yeah.
Yeah, my Instagram account is aiming at 400 people, 200 of which are bots.
Fair.
You know, and the other 200 are friends and artists who can make their own shit.
Yeah, fair. But I
don't have an audience.
But
it's basically.
But you know, kind of like you have to.
Nobody loves.
You have to build it. Oh well, geez, you know, I don't have time to go into the reasons why, but
that's not what I was expecting. Well done. Ow. Ow.
But you'll get there, bro. We'll get there. We'll have a mad successful business doing something. Who knows?
The other thing I'll do is I'll start saying now is that the Bag of Cats comedy show is back in Dublin Inc. on April 27th. Yeah. I went to a great show on Thursday.
Oh yes, in Wigwam.
In Wigwam. I don't know that I put the link into the chat, but I will. I recorded Emmett Doyle's performance.
Shout out to Emmett Doyle.
He did. Oh, you weren't there that last time.
Where?
The last Dublin Inc. show he performed.
Uh-huh.
And like he does, you know, he raps.
Oh, okay.
And he's such an unassuming dude, but when he starts rapping, like it's like this class. And he did. His bit was the theme for the night was musicals, and his bit was he was playing Lin-Manuel Miranda in 2009, and he was talking like just a fun performance as Lin-Manuel Miranda. And like talking about this historical character that he just learned about
for the
writing a musical about
uncultured swines out there, who is Lindsay Miranda?
Lin-Manuel Miranda is the MacArthur Grant, Genius Grant award-winning Hamilton creator who has done the music for Moana.
Oh yeah, he was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
he was. Yeah,
And he did.
They
were making
recreated the Hamilton bit.
They were doing a play called Fatwa or something. Or someone had set out a fatwa.
But basically,
watch Curb. Chant with me, Aiden. Watch Curb.
Basically, Lin-Manuel Miranda rapped the opening of Hamilton, and rather than it being about Alexander Hamilton, it got to the point where he was like, it was basically all about Avatar.
Okay.
Because it was 2009, and he was like, I just watched Avatar. It's really fucking great. Like, I can send you the link of it.
Yeah, dude.
It was so fucking funny.
So you're going to be at the Dublin show in the 27th? I was just informed that the Kite Runner is at 2:30. That's 2:30.
That's early.
So I have to be careful. I have to go and get the mirror at 12 o'clock. Sure. One thing.
Yes.
That they say, okay, just don't include it in the podcast, but we will talk about it another time. No.
Amount of things
no, I don't. No. I'm just going to say the Ed Piskor stuff has blown my mind.
Why are we not including this in the podcast? Let's talk, because I had that in my head. That's a big story. Ed Piskor of Cartoon Kayfabe
ended his life on
he suicided
Monday.
Tapped out, hit eject. What's going on? Because I feel like you're more tuned into you will have got the details. I got the overview. You're more the comic focused individual. You will have got the details. Don't worry about tiptoeing around anything. We are not responsible for whatever. We're not going to say anything offensive. We're not going to say
there's victims on all sides
with intention of hurt or harm, and everything that we say is allegedly based on our understanding of the event as we have it. So do your own research, audience members.
Yes.
Kevin, what is your understanding of this event?
Well, I know that a artist by the name of Molly was communicating with Ed Piskor during COVID. This is 3 or 4 years ago. Molly was 17 years old. I see a lot of websites saying she's 17 going 18. I don't necessarily think that matters. She's 17 years old. A lot of websites also clarify that the age of consent in both states that each person involved was from is 16. That also is irrelevant. That doesn't matter, you know.
How old was Piskor?
Piskor at the time, I believe, was 38, and she was 17.
Yeah. As somebody pointed out, age of consent, so not so 38-year-olds can fuck 17-year-olds. So 17-year-olds can fuck 17-year-olds.
100%. 100%, yes. And then... and also, people have pointed out that this woman who has made allegations against or has called out Ed Piskor, they've called her out for the type of work she does. She does comic books that are very sexually or overtly sexual. That is also irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You know? So I'm just saying that's out there to get that off the table, first of all, because all of that stuff is irrelevant. You know?
Sure.
She's not 17 turning 18. Age of consent is 16. All that stuff doesn't matter. Okay?
Yeah.
Ed Piskor is one part of Cartoon Kayfabe and the other part is Jim Rugg. I've watched a lot of Cartoon Kayfabe over the years and I'm more enamored by Jim. Ed is fine, but I never really connected to the guy as much as I did Jim. You know?
Okay.
So this happened during COVID. Ed was contacting this person, Molly, and Ed had said some stuff that was like, you know, people would deem inappropriate. And I certainly I personally wouldn't understand why someone in their an adult in their 30s would be talking to a child 17. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't understand that. Mm-hmm. So he said stuff like kind of talking industry stuff to her. He said that like, oh, come over if you ever over this part, you know, we can draw, we can hang out, you can play video games and anime, you can stay in my house, I have a spare room and blah blah blah, you know. And she had mentioned that she had committed some sort of minor infraction, like some sort of petty crime, and he called her a naughty girl and all that kind of stuff. Now she posted technically, you know, 4 years later, she's 20, you know, 122 or whatever. She posted these images online from the text
of the conversation.
All right. Now, there's another podcast called The Gutter Boys. I listen to The Gutter Boys. They were mentioned in Ed Piskor's suicide note. And I'll get to that now in a minute. But the Gutter Boys have a real aversion towards Ed, and always did. But they may have valid reasons, you know. They, like, I don't know if it's just a personal thing or if it's valid, but they've articulated many times how they just do not like the man, you know.
Right.
They like Jim Rugg, but they don't like him. All right. And like Ed's a funny guy. He always has his sunglasses on, his baseball caps. You know, he's of a generation. You know, and he's very enamored by, you know, different things. But
he's of our generation. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, I mean, like kind of like growing up in the hip hop scene and like very
right.
Like yeah, just mad because like he's not that much older than us, but he's like very different. You know, it's kind of like.
Did you say he's 38?
No, he's 41 now. He was 38.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But no, he kind of grew up like just, you know, anyways, in New York, or I think it was Philadelphia he was growing up in. Anyways, but he's a funny guy. But what was I saying? So the guys in this podcast, they don't like it, you know. So
right.
So once this information came out, a lot of people, justifiably so, if they had genuine concerns,
right,
spoke out against it. You know?
Okay.
But this led to Ed Piskor's, and like, you know, people would argue he didn't break the law. No one involved the police, no one involved lawyers, no one did anything. However, a news media channel in Philadelphia did go to his parents' house to talk to his father about this for some reason. His art show that was about to happen was cancelled, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he was in talks about making potentially some sort of movie deal or a deal, you know, with some in regards to something, and I think that was taken off the table. And Jim Rugg made an announcement that he was going to separate from Ed Piskor and not be involved in him anymore. Other allegations came out, but I believe Ed denies them, fully acknowledges the interaction with the 17-year-old, found it embarrassing and cringy and regretful. But that's, again, you know, when you're called out on this behavior, of course, you know, you're going to have a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you're going to have a different perspective on it.
Defensiveness.
Yes, yeah. But some people were very vocal in their kind of dislike towards him, and I think some of that stuff was already you know, it was there already. Just added fuel to the fire, you know. So they kind of ran with it. But on April 1st, I was at home and I was on my phone and I got a notification from the Cartoon Kayfabe group or something, and it was just like, Ed just posted this, and it was a suicide note, you know. So I turned around to Emer and was just like, oh geez, this guy just posted this thing. I told him what happened. I was like, this guy just posted this thing, like, is this, it's like, I'm sure it's not April Fool's. I think Ed Piskor killed himself. And then it just, like, I started seeing comments like, oh, I'm in Philly, I'm going to call this person, or, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then later that night, it came out that he had committed suicide, and he had left a very, very unfortunately very sad and angry and very visceral suicide note, you know. And then, and it's also kind of, it's like, and in fairness to the two women that accused him and stuff, and like the thing is, like, there's been multiple allegations apparently, you know. He accepts some of them and then denies some of them, you know. I'm not going to go into that because I don't know enough about it, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, like, lots of people are coming out now saying, like, you know, poor Ed and cancel culture and this and that, you know. But like, I feel like these people were less vocal when Ed was alive.
Right.
Do you know? The two women involved, like I said, they've cancelled, or they've closed all of their social media accounts and stuff, which is also not good. The men that are involved, I've seen comments on their Instagrams, murderer, killers, you know, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's also crazy. Ed naming people in a suicide note is just as bad as, you know, if you're against cancel culture. That, I personally feel like that's also fuels the fire of cancel culture. You know, if you're saying, like, it's wrong that these people did this to me, so I'm going to call them out so other people can do it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a very tragic story. I think, and in his suicide note, he wanted Jim Rook to continue doing cartoon kayfabe because he would have had a lot of videos pre-recorded and stuff. So Jim has started to post them now, it's a really sad situation, you know, as in like for everybody involved. I'm sure that Molly girl, who was 17 years old at the time, fucking, you know, never had any intentions like this.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and that's it, I guess. You know, I do feel sad, you know, in the sense, you know, it's like anything, you know what I mean? Like, it's like kind of even like, you know, I wasn't particularly, say, upset when Michael Jackson died, but like people would have been hundreds of thousands of people mourned, millions of people mourned, you know? Sometimes it's just like, you know, you connected with them in an artistic sense as opposed to, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. But, and I kind of like, I wasn't like I said, the biggest Ed Piskor fan. I'm not going to sit here and say I am an Ed Piskor fan. I do have Red Room #1. I do have the single issues of X and Grand Design. I have a few of his books and a few bits and pieces, but I see some people are trying to sell them on eBay straight away. And like, even when he announced his suicide note, people are like, should I hold on to these or sell them now and blah, blah. And it's just like, holy shit, like. And now people are also saying that they're not going to stock the books and the comics of the people involved. And it's just like, that's also fucking...
Yeah, that's not great either.
Cancel culture, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of wrong. There's a lot of wrong in the story, you know? And there's a lot of hurt. And there's a lot of pain and anger. There's a lot of people hurt by this thing, you know? Yeah, it's a very complex situation. I think we should be able to call out people for their toxic behavior and all that kind of stuff, but I think there has to be maybe a process for that or something, you know. But I don't. I have no solutions. It's such a complicated thing, you know. He gave everything to comics, and then in a time of his life where it had kind of come to fruition and he was getting recognition, he was having art shows, he was getting fucking movie deals, he was doing X, Y, and Z. It was all taken from him. The media went to his parents' house, interviewed his father. His father didn't have a clue this stuff was going on, completely blindsided him on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I'll be honest with you, I've also listened to the podcast, the last episode before this happened. And the guys on the podcast were laughing about how fucking... They were like, Jim Rogue, we tried to save you. Fuck you, buddy. You're an idiot. We've tried to save you. Ed Piskor, like, you know, dude, blah, 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 blah. Guys, just shoot your fucking faces off. Go fuck yourselves. And it's just like, yeah. You told them to kill themselves. Kill themselves. Enjoy that. Live with that. Yep. That's cool.
Well, it's just fucking sad all around.
Yeah. But there you go. Ed Piskor, you know...
Cool.
Yep.
I watched the first episode of Shogun, like hard pivot to media. I watched the first episode of Shogun. Brian's right, it's a good show. Brian's also right, there is a moment in the first episode that you're like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe they did that.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. Don't say it.
I wish I had known. And the thing is also, you very, very quickly know what it is. And it also then goes on for ages. And wow. I mean, I bet it's in the book. I mean, I hope it's in the book. Otherwise, someone just came up with something. Like, we know objectively that in medieval times, people did horrible, horrible things to each other. We've got torture museums and things like that. But very rarely do you see a full, prolonged, drawn-out example of it.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me just try that now. We're back. We had
we're back.
A brief intermission.
We had an auditory calamity, but we seem to have been able to pull it out of the bag. We've saved it.
Yes, I believe so. I think so. Yes.
We've saved it through science.
Yes.
36 hours later?
36 hours later, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
A whole 36 hours later.
And we've done a whole bunch of things.
We've done new experiences.
I went and taught a class yesterday.
I went to a matinee show in the Gaiety Theatre.
What did you see?
What class did you teach?
2D art design and architecture.
Ooh. Was it a one-off thing or no?
No, it's the course I'm teaching at Pulse.
Oh, yeah.
It's 12 weeks of 2D art for games, basically, is the sort of broad brief of it. So giving students an overview of the tools needed to design, build, rig, animate, and export a sprite sheet for game design is the sort of arc of my lesson plan. Getting them introduced to Photoshop, Flash, little Toon Boom, little animation concepts, get something exported.
And was that the first class?
Nope, it was like the 6th or 7th.
And have you got any like kind of crazy talented students that just blow your mind?
Like, it's a massive subject. It's like all of 2D art.
Yeah, it sounds wild
to people that don't do 2D art.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really like a lot of like overloading people with information.
Fair. You're good at that.
Yeah, I just bombard.
And if I remember correctly, well, go on. Are you going to be teaching any courses after that?
No, I've got 2 ongoing classes at the moment that are supposed to finish up at the end of April, but the bank holiday is actually pushing them out into May in a way that's kind of frustrating.
Wow, okay. That's mad, isn't it? There's been a lot of bank holidays.
Yeah, well, they're aiming at one a month really at this point, aren't they?
Which is great. I'm all for it. One a month.
2 a month.
2 a month. Hey, one every week, my friend. One every week. You have a bank holiday. You have a bank holiday. Everybody, check under your seats.
There's a bank holiday.
There's a fucking bank holiday under your seat. Put it there before you sit down.
What show did you go see? You went to the Gaiety?
I went to the Gaiety Theatre and I saw a live performance of the Kite Runner. Pardon me.
Right.
Are you familiar with the Kite Runner at all?
Vaguely. I remember the movie. I think I saw it once.
So I didn't see the movie. I read the book. When I first met Emer, we were talking about whatever, and she had mentioned...
A reader?
She mentioned that it was one of her favourite books. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a try. And I read it. It's really, really sad. But it was excellent. It's written by an Afghan-American author, Khalid Hosseini. I'm sorry if I butchered that,
okay.
But
just roll through.
Keep it going. Oh God,
this is it. Never apologize, never explain.
It's about the story of Amir and his loyal best friend Hassan. They often fly kites and take part in tournaments. During a tournament, Amir witnesses Hassan being sexually assaulted, but instead of intervening, Amir runs away. Afterwards, the close bond between their families disintegrates, and the Taliban kind of take over Afghanistan. It's during the 70s. They moved to America, I think, in the early 80s. He's really enamored with writing, creative writing and stuff. His father necessarily isn't the most encouraging and stuff, but you find, it's complex. It's very complex relationships. It's an incredibly sad story. Like, it really is a sad, heartbreaking story. Reading the book was hard enough. I was like kind of almost like apprehensive going to the play because it's just such a sad story, But I probably wouldn't have watched the movie. But the play was brilliant. The cast was amazing. It's interesting though because like it's told from the perspective of the children when they're really young and then throughout their lives and as they grow up and stuff, But it's performed by the same actor. So he's running around in a kind of a childlike way, talking in a childlike way. His best friend Hassan is also like an adult doing the same thing, But their performances are amazing. Like they really kind of encapsulate and they really, really do embody like that kind of just child carefree fun, like they have on the stage and all that kind of stuff, which kind of makes some of the scenes harder for sure, and it's a very small cast because they reuse actors throughout the play and stuff, and it's not necessarily jarring because you only kind of realize a good portion into it that is that guy again,
yeah,
bits like that, but
kind of get lost in it a bit,
and like really minimalistic performance in terms of props and stage and stuff, there's a kind of an Afghan carpet in the middle, and that serves as like a spot that they can do different projections on. Sometimes it's different carpets and different kind of textures or environments and stuff. And then there's just a kind of a really rickety fence behind them. And that, for the most part, is just a wooden fence. But when they go to America, it's kind of blacked out and they project like skyline, really crude kind of drawn skylines onto it. And it's really kind of like subtle stuff, but really effective.
That's great.
Thanks.
That's great. I haven't been to the Gaiety in a long, long time.
Yeah, I've been there. I went to the Panther there a couple of years ago. A colleague of mine's girlfriend was like the lead in one of them, you know, so we all went down. And I've been there before for sure, but I really couldn't tell you. Maybe the odd gig or something, like kind of something a bit more, you know, if it was like a acoustic thing, or I don't know. I'd love to remember, but I've been there because, like, you know, fully recognize the inside. Parts of it are familiar to me, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
But I guess it is also not a kind of an Irish staple, isn't it?
The Gaiety?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, I don't know, we've got X amount of theatres or Gaiety Gate Abbey.
Yeah, anyways, it was a very, very good show. Like I said, you know, pretty harrowing stuff, but excellent all the same.
And what was your afternoon then after that?
Myself and Emer went over to our friend's house and myself and my buddy made a big old thing of fried chicken for ourselves and schnitzels for the ladies. And yeah, really enjoyed
Schnitzels?
it. Chicken schnitzels, yeah. Chicken schnitzels, easy to make.
I did my teaching, and then I bumped into Dan Bidgie, friend of the podcast, Dan Bidgie.
Right, Dan.
Just bumped into him, and he didn't have a big plan, so we went and we got some drinks and we got some food, and then we went to that birthday party that I was going to go to. And then he got a little anxious about going to a birthday party that he wasn't invited to, but like, it was drinks and Bison Bar with like a third of the improv community. Like, he was amongst people he knew. Yeah, more than welcome to be there. But he got a little like anxious that he shouldn't be there, so he said his goodbyes and left. And I was like, dude, you poor sweet child. You were too kind, too nice for this world. Because like, if he'd waited 10 minutes later, like a couple of people we knew who were like really close friends, or like, you know, just people we just hang out with, to talk with a lot, you know, showed up, and he just got a little anxious and wandered away, which is fine.
Well, you know, I can understand where he's coming from. If he's imposing it, it's not his place to. So I respect his you know, self-awareness, even if it was a little bit unwarranted.
Yeah, that's the thing of it, is just he didn't need to. He was in good position, but basically, yeah, I was in Bison until around midnight, and then I went with them to karaoke across the river, and that was fun. And then we went back to Workman's. No, this is like 30 people at a birthday party.
Savage. Okay, did you sing?
I tried to sing, but I ultimately did not sing. I put Elton John's Tiny Dancer in the thing, and when it started, I realized it was like a Korean or Chinese cover of Tiny Dancer, and all the lyrics were in not English.
Okay.
So we just skipped it. I was like, well, that's
there's your one shot.
Yeah, I threw away my shot, as Hamilton was wont to not to do. Yeah, I like. It's interesting. It's interesting picking up this podcast a day later, because especially with the sort of catastrophic way that the recording ended.
Yes.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Can't remember.
That's going to be an interesting sort of listening experience, isn't it?
I did.
And by that I mean jarring. So we're like 4 jarring podcasts in a row at this point.
I think we were talking about Shogun. That was the last thing we were talking about. And you were talking about the torture scene. Right. And I was talking about the movie Behind the Sun. It's a Japanese movie, and it kind of, I think it's from the 70s. I'm pretty sure it's Behind the Sun or something. But it's just kind of notorious or infamous for having it's really shocking torture scenes and the stuff that they did to people. It doesn't. I don't need to say it. It's pretty horrendous. You know that. You remember that? I mentioned the other day in the podcast, but it was a division of the Japanese army 731, or I don't know what it was, but they used to just do like the most unimaginable, reprehensible things. You know, they just did things that like, it's like, how could you have possibly conceived that, to do that to a human? They did things to babies. They did horrendous things.
Oh, okay.
Like, just,
Well.
you know, I won't say it.
I continued my my attempt to watch Bridgerton. No, not Bridgerton. Downton Abbey.
Wow, okay.
It's horrible. It's not good. It's bad soap opera. And I think, having not watched Bridgerton, I would guess that Bridgerton is Downton with diversity.
And more raunchy, is it?
I don't know.
Super raunchy. I mean,
yes, I think Bridgerton is supposed to be kind of the raunchier end of things, while also being safe TV fare at the same time.
Wasn't there some Bridgerton debacle where somebody had kind of like made a play based on Bridgerton that was a parody of Bridgerton, and it was very apparent and very obvious or something, and they got done for it? Something like that. I can't remember.
No, that's it. That's irritating.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for the week then? Let's try and, like, we've jumped on to do a half hour to sort of like adjust, round out, what's the word I put it? Just tighten up this 40 minutes that we had beforehand. Have you anything lined up for the week ahead?
No, I don't. Working. House stuff.
Working. Going to
Yeah.
anything?
No.
No gigs? No.
I'm going to see Brian next Saturday.
You're going to see Brian?
Yes.
In Cork?
Yes. He has a family affair going on that I've been invited to. Sorry, Aidan.
Oh, very nice.
Sorry, family soiree that I've been invited to.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You know, if there's one thing I know,
I'm much.
I'm not
closer to
welcome
Brian.
places. I'm trying to see if there's anything coming up this week at the same time.
Well,
Anything in the movie end of things.
You're asking me things, and then I'm answering you, and then you're not making a conversation about it.
I asked you, was there anything going on, and you went no.
And then I remembered.
And then you started telling me about Brian's thing. And if there's one thing I know about Brian is Brian doesn't want you telling anything about him in the fucking podcast.
Okay, fair.
He just wants to sit there quietly.
Fair. In terms of things I'd like to do this week, I am really enjoying. I bought a graphic novel the other day. I'm really enjoying it. The Saga of Simon Williams, Wonder Man. Have I spoken about that yet?
No.
Yeah, it's great. I'm really, really fucking enjoying it. So much fun. Like I'm sure I've mentioned before in the podcast, I have a little bit of a affinity for the character. You know.
Yeah, you're a Wonder Man fan.
When I was reading Avengers, it was during that. Was it Chris? What's that guy's name? Chris Patch? No, not Chris Pencholo. He was the X-Men Generation X guy.
Pacheco?
Great.
Carlos Pacheco?
Carlos Pacheco. Is it Carlos Pacheco? He did the Avengers for a while. Maybe it was Mark Bagley, actually. I think it was Mark Bagley.
Did Carlos Pacheco die?
Yes, I believe so.
Fuck.
Is he? I don't know. No, is it George Perez died?
George Perez died for sure, yeah.
Maybe not Carlos Pacheco. Carlos Pacheco was doing Generation X, right? And X-Men Apocalypse? Or was that guy?
I'm not sure.
He had a real 2000 style. Yeah, he died November 9th, 2022.
Carlos Pacheco?
Yeah.
Dude, everyone's dying.
He died young, pal. Yeah, I think it was Mark Bagley was drawing Wonder Man when I was reading it. I want to say it was Mark Bagley. I'm pretty sure it was. But it was, and I'm pretty sure that was around the time when, basically, when I was reading it though, kind of, I was learning about Vision having being a kind of clone of Wonder Man's brain. In the comics, you know that Vision has Wonder Man's brain.
Right.
Originally.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, when I was reading the Avengers, I was reading that stuff. So that's kind of how I got really into Wonder Man, because it was just like, I think they were doing I think it was Mark Bagley, so it would have been far away from the 70s stuff, you know. But they're obviously doing some sort of storyline with it. Maybe I can't remember exactly, but it's just fun rereading that stuff, the original stuff, and seeing where it came from, you know. Because that was like the first time I started reading Avengers was around that kind of. They were doing a focus story about that stuff.
Didn't he do Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yes. This would have been way before Ultimate Spider-Man, though.
Way before.
I would have said.
How old is he? I thought he was like a new Faces when he was doing Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, maybe not way before, but
Well, yeah, no, I was definitely reading Avengers around that era as well. A lot of Perez then.
Yes.
And there was that sort of medieval vibey one. I remember the Heroes Reborn and the Heroes Return and all that jazz.
yeah.
It's interesting.
Um,
Comics were magical to me at that point.
yeah. I remember like having the few issues that I would have, and I'm not just saying this, like kind of just like rereading them so much, like so much.
Yeah, pouring over every panel.
Yeah.
Now I kind of like breeze through the text a bit more, and I'm like, "What's the story going on here?"
I know, yeah. It's just like I just want to look at the pictures. Just want to look at the pictures. Get me to the good pictures, you know? Yeah.
The I spent a chunk of today trying to put together, gather a lot of the art I have. So like with 150, like this is episode 150. Congratulations on making it to 150 podcasts. Yeah, that's part of the celebration here. We have done probably easily 300 hours of this talking. And I was taking the art that we did. Absolutely, we're flying.
Yes.
I took the art that I've done and I was like just bashing them into folders like on a monthly basis and like all my Inktobers, and I got 365 images together so that I can just like Twitter, I'm now just going to put a picture up every day.
Yes.
And it'll loop.
Yeah.
And so I have a daily feed of
Amazing.
at least one thing going up art wise.
Do it on Instagram.
And do it on Instagram.
Way more than Twitter.
Way more than Twitter. You think? Like it's so scattershot. It's again not one thing.
So
you know?
what I would do if I was you, because you have that bank of pictures, I would sit down. I would sit down. I would take a couple of hours to do this, but I would schedule a post for each day, so you don't have to worry about it. Do that for a month or do that for 2 weeks, whatever. You can pre-schedule stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. It goes up at that time, you know. Use your hashtags and your SEO and all that kind of stuff. I say SEO, but I mean like, you know, particular phrases.
Hashtags.
Yes, and hashtags.
Yeah.
You have to do both, because sometimes they say hashtags aren't any good anymore. You have to include stuff in the caption underneath. Like, you know, say, for example, you know, comic book commission of so-and-so from so-and-so. They're buzzwords. By Irish artist, blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of way. But yeah, do that. Because consistency is key on Instagram. And if it sees you're posting every day, it will boost you more. I don't do it, but that's what I've been told by friends who do it, and it's more successful. So.
But that's what I was doing, and then I saw a job listing today that I was like, oh, I'll apply for that. It's the same job title as the Dundalk job. It just happens to be in North London.
Oh wow! Okay.
Cinema wise, Monkey Man came out. I don't know if you saw that or saw that's released.
Yes, I would be interested in watching it.
I'd like to see that. I like Dev Patel. I like Jordan Peele.
Yep. Dev Patel's great.
I'm not sure what else is out this week. April 12th. Civil War comes out. That looks worryingly predictive.
I started watching.
I also saw that. Go ahead.
No, go on. You say your thing, buddy.
I was going to say Cineworld are doing like an action season.
Oh,
so like they're showing The Rock and they're showing like Bad Boys and things like that.
Oh, I go to see The Rock.
Yeah. I think it might be April 12th, which means I can't go and see it.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Sorry, Marika's over that weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll be in Cork anyways, I think.
Yeah.
That's next weekend. That's this weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
That's exciting.
Oh well, we just broke our rock-shaped hearts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sad. Yeah. Next time.
You were about to say something.
I, out of morbid curiosity, watched some of Roadhouse.
Oh yeah.
I got to the part where, spoiler alert, who cares? It's an awful movie.
Who cares?
I got to the part where McGregor attacks the pub and like Jake Gyllenhaal walks away. There was like 40 minutes left, but maybe half an hour. But it was like Jake Gyllenhaal like it's kind of like walks away from because like he doesn't like the kind of person he is or something, or what he's capable of or something. Like,
oddly enough, that was a moment that kind of resonated with me for a moment, because I was just sort of like, he's in the middle of this bar fight defending a bar, and it felt like a moment where somebody went, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm just, this makes no sense. I'm leaving. I don't care. It's a building. I have no beef with this guy personally.
Yeah.
Why am I fighting with this guy?
I do think though the scene where he's outside the bar to start, and he's just like, do
Little slaps.
you have insurance? It's a health insurance. Like, guys, how long is it for this hospital away? It's so OTT. You know, it's like some dude had this macho fantasy in his head for a long time and wanted to put into a movie. Do you know what I mean? It's the most, like, I think Brian would probably call it like male fantasy thing ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like, Brian hated that film.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, to be honest, like, something like that kind of, you know, when you watch it back, like, you kind of, you know, you believe Steven Seagal saying that in a movie from the fucking 80s or 90s, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just kind of like, in a movie now, it's a little bit like, it's too much, you know?
Yeah,
but
it's trying to capture that.
Yeah.
It's trying to capture that 80s nonsense thing.
McGregor's is
he's absolutely terrible,
horrendous, and I don't understand.
He's so wooden.
I don't understand if he's meant to be this absolute, like, you know, unhinged madman thug, and like the first scene of him is jumping out of a window naked. And like, does he even crush the ground? I don't even know. But like, he jumps. But listen. He jumps out of the window naked, right? And then he's on this. He's strolling through the town butt naked, and he's on the phone. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he looks at the fella up and down, and he says, "Shopping, clothes shopping." And he helps the guy. Obviously, takes the clothes. But like, if he's so fucking brutal, why the fuck did he jump out of a window away from the quote unquote, like? Obviously, he was, you know, it's implied that he's sleeping with some woman, and the husband walks in, and he jumps out the window, and he's storming down the street. He's walking down the street, strutting and stuff naked, and assaults the guy for his clothes. But it's like, if he's such a fucking psycho, why didn't he throw the guy out the window instead? You know, then jump out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know I know I have a bias here because just not a fan of the guy. But
no. Like, that's forget even McGregor. Somebody made the decision. Somebody made the decision that makes sense in some way. So think about the idea of
there's so much of it like
somebody
that,
who is
there's so much of that in that movie. But go on.
Yeah, but like okay, anytime we would meet somebody like that, right? What you're dealing with is somebody who has the sort of charisma somebody who has the charisma to be a ladies' man, to have seduced another man's wife, and to be spending an evening. And ordinarily that's it's like, oh shit, baby, he's home. Like, it's a fun, like I say fun, but it's played for the laughs of like, these two are in on something together and they're running away. There's a scramble and it's a
trope, that's a party trope type thing that goes on for donkeys.
Yeah, if he's this much of a psychopath, he doesn't care. He's beating that person up. Yeah. Or he doesn't have the charisma to seduce this person to spend time with them.
But like the fact that, like, yeah, exactly. But the fact that, like, kind of like his lines in the movie are just kind of like, you know, he has a golf club in the town. He's walking towards the roadhouse, and he's like, "I haven't been clubbing in a long time." And then he's in there and he's smashing stuff, and he's like, "I am having a smashing time." And it's just like, this is dog shit. And he's the poses, the face, and then all of the stuff is just absolute CGI to the fucking max. It's like, what the fuck, like?
The CGI in that film is frustrating.
They did so much of it, and they did that on purpose.
So much. So I did watch a video where people are like touting the effectiveness of this way of shooting, where like they've an actor feigning the hit, and then they've another actor like headbutting a pad, and then they map the two things together. And the idea is that you can have an actor like really headbutt a pad and sell that and marry the two images together, but it doesn't work. It looks like rubber. Now maybe it gets better, but it's got a squishiness as like it's changing our understanding or our expectation of the visual language of this sort of fight scene. I want to see people act. I know how they fake the impacts or they hit the impacts.
I would have much preferred, and people are probably going to crucify me for this, I would have much preferred that Rose House movie was fucking starring John Cena and all the other...
Rose House?
What?
You said Rose House.
I said Roadhouse.
I was like, oh, Rose House.
I would have liked to see Roadhouse.
Right.
Starring John Cena and just a collective of fucking, like, you know, wrestlers. And just have a WWE production and just that kind of tomfuckery. It would have been far more just like, this is... I probably wouldn't have watched it, but it just would have been like, this is shite. This is just... It's exactly what it is, you know? I could imagine, like, the remake coming out in the 90s with, like, Sting and Hulk and, like, you know, a bunch of just random wrestlers.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun, even with, like, I don't know, even with today's bunch of wrestlers.
That's me, John Cena, a bunch of random guys.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It would have been a kind of a funner movie, I guess. This movie is savage. Like there's parts of it that are pretty brutal, but it's so silly.
There's bits of it where I was having fun. I think the thing is, I think Gyllenhaal is
yeah, he's fine in it, to be honest. But
Gyllenhaal's charismatic enough that, like, he's fine.
Yeah.
That character's fine.
Yeah.
I like that character. It's just everything else around it. Like the minute he gets off the bus and there's like a plucky, like,
eye roll
supporting character. Like I'm thinking of like video games where like a little fucking character pops up in the bottom right of the screen and goes, "Hey, welcome to the town.
Yeah.
If you need anything with rating posters,
have you seen
over
the
here."
tree? You know what I mean? Like it's so like Zelda prompt.
Yeah. They say if you stand on top of the tree, you can see beyond the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a myth. Maybe you'd be the person to do it. Anyway, I'm going back to the shop. If you need anything, let us know.
That's literally pretty much word for word what that scene involves. But it's wild.
And they don't go and do anything with the tree.
No.
The tree amounts to nothing.
Tree, and I did notice. I was like, "Oh, why is the two roads?"
Well, they fucking gave us a significant shot
fair,
of the tree.
Fair.
You saw the tree because the tree was on screen for 15 seconds.
What was I going to say? Yeah, and then like just the whole like you're kind of just like it's like again like original Roadhouse. It's fine, it works, whatever. But like in this one, it's just kind of like it just feels very much like bar in the morning, bar at nighttime, new tug, fight, bar in the morning, bar at nighttime, new tug, fight, and it's just like it doesn't, and then all the stuff with the doctor and the police sergeant and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just, it's a hard watch. Gyllenhaal, like again, like Gyllenhaal isn't bad in it, you know, like he's not, and like the other actors aren't bad in it. To be fair, like you know, Frankie owns the bar, not bad, you know, but yeah. Oh, and then like the whole scene where just like that guy's got a knife. Just when he pulls it out, take a step back and punch, and then the guy does it, and he looks down on his hand like
that's the worst piece of advice.
You know, he looks down at his own fist after punching the guy, going like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Yeah. Nope, it's funny. It's like
I'll be sure to use that though next time.
Yeah, just next time you encounter a knife, just step back and then punch.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Why was... Oh, look, we're talking about this film again. We already did this.
Go on.
Why Post Malone?
That was weird.
Why was he there?
That was weird. It's basically kind of just says like anybody with tattoos is thug enough to beat anybody up, and it's just like, all right, cool, that's all you need.
Right.
But you know, I'm happy for Post. At least he's far better actor than McGregor.
He's you know, yeah,
100%, bro. Yeah, and like to be honest, it's like again though, personal bias. It didn't bother me to see Post Malone there. You know what I mean? Like, look at Harry Styles in what do you call it? Dunkirk. You know, and then even at the end of bloody Eternals, who cares? Yeah. But it's like, but that doesn't bother me. You know. At all, and I didn't really mind seeing Post Malone there. It's just fucking fucking Goober.
MacGuber. Conor MacGuber.
And MacGruber is great. That was actually a WWE production. You see? I did watch that movie on Netflix. It starts here or something like that.
The end starts here. Oof, I don't know. It sounds grim.
It's basically after a period of drought in the world. It starts to torrential rain and basically flood. The movie's based in London, It's about a man and a woman who have just had a baby, like a day or two into the catastrophe, and it's their journey, and then kind of it's their journey throughout this basically like almost like how would you say world-ending flood scenario,
Right.
you know.
Is it a little like The Road, but with water?
A little bit like The Road with Water.
The Water Road.
I would say though, far less grim. Far less grim. It's an entertaining movie. It's enjoyable. I cannot remember any of the actors' names in it. Mark Strong is in it.
Go away.
He's the most recognizable face, but he's only in it very, very briefly. But it's a good movie.
Well, that's cool. Just to close out on, like, I'm on a fucking like, I don't know. Netflix is throwing British stuff at me the whole time, based off Peaky Blinders and now The Crown, and I watched
and
The
Downton
Young
Abbey.
Victoria. Downton Abbey. I watched The Young Victoria. What a waste of time that movie is, from top to bottom.
Never seen it, but I don't know what it is.
It's just a movie about Queen Victoria when she was like 20, and at one point I looked over and realized there's 10 minutes left of this movie, and I'm like, nothing's fucking happened yet. Nothing interesting. Do you know what I mean? It's like she come of age and got married. It's the dullest fucking film. I must go to Rotten Tomatoes and see what the fuck they say about this movie. Let's close out on a late review of the 2009 Emily Blunt film, The Young Victoria. Rotten Tomatoes score 76.
Wow.
Okay, I was just bored.
Romance thriller. Did you feel like it was a thriller?
No. I didn't feel like there at any point what do we know about Queen Victoria? Queen Victoria is the longest reigning monarch in British history, and she married Prince Albert and he died in his 40s. So, like, these are the things that everybody knows about Queen Victoria. And it's like, so what at all threat, jeopardy, or like, she's going to become queen and she's going to be queen until she dies in her 80s. Got it.
The movie is a love story and a study of the psychological attributes of a young woman whose circumstances have made her queen. There you go.
All right.
Well, good luck with that. I won't be watching it.
Nope, don't.
So, we'll pick something for next week and watch it.
Yes. What are we going to watch?